These are 5 of the easiest get started business models. They're one-on-one models, okay? Coaching, consulting, creative services, right? So look at, and as I'm reading these, listen to see if like, oh, this could be one for me. This is something perhaps I could do. So coaching, consulting, creative services, professional services, and health and wellness. Think about it. You start to think about that. What might be a fit for you? Simply, can you see that if you were to simply take 1, 2, 3, a couple of clients at any of these one-to-one get started models, how you not only could earn income, but you're also able to get the experience you need to get your messaging dialed in so that you can quickly progress to the next stage of business growth. You don't have to stay here long. That's my point. So if you have felt like you're swirling around in this get started stage and you're like, when do I get out of it? When do I have a real business? When you implement the things we're going to share with you, you do not have to stay in this stage for very long. And that is very beautiful. You can actually move from one-on-one to small groups to larger groups, depending on what you want to do ultimately for your business when you're smart about it. Now, that being said, I want to prove this to you. So if you're thinking, oh, it takes years to get to know who I help and what I do and how to share it, I'm actually going to ask Marisa to come back out and share with you a story of her good friend, Jason Fladlien. And this story is a little extreme. It might be dollar amounts that make your heart race a little bit, but I think it illustrates how quickly you can ascend through the different stages of business growth when you have a plan and when you are very focused and clear in your action. So, Marisa, come on out.
All right. Hey. Nice to see you again. Okay. So the reason why I really wanted to share this particular story, and thanks to Jennifer, isn't she awesome? Our whole coaching team is really awesome, is because it shows something that I've actually learned over and over and over again. And I've supported 15,000 students in launching their businesses online. And no matter how much experience that you have, you always need to go back to the get started stage to really test and fine tune your offers before you scale, okay? And if you don't have experience, you really need to start at this stage. Does that make sense? But so many people try to skip steps, and it leads to really catastrophic results. So my friend Jason Fladlien already had an authority level business, okay? He was making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he also partnered with someone, Dan Hollings, who had an authority level business. So I want to show you their timeline of how quickly they ascended through the stages of business growth, because even though the first time it might take you about a year to ascend through each stage, once you've done it once, you can go through a lot more quickly in the future. So Jason met with this guy, Dan Hollings, a mutual friends of ours, on March 25th and heard all about Dan's approach to crypto trading using kind of what's called micro pivots or wiggles. And he loved the idea so much because Dan had spent years fine-tuning and proven these approach. So on May 2nd, they went out together and they posted a message to a Discord group. And Discord's kind of like Slack or WhatsApp, but with larger communities. So he posted a message to sell and just to gauge interest, right? And there was so much interest that 4 days later on May 6th, they offered a $10,000 one-on-one get started offer, okay? Now, that sold out really, really fast. It did so well that just a few weeks later on May 28th, they decided to do a minimum viable product small group coaching program to help people in developing their crypto trading system. It was $2,500, and Murray and I were in this particular group, okay? We loved it. We did really, really well. And then that went so well and filled so quickly that on June 2nd, they had a beta launch for an online course that was a much larger, like teaching the model, not just helping people create it, in the done-for-you services. That went well. They did another one on July 15th and another one on September 13th. So with each of these things, they were progressing through the stages of business growth with the strategy they were using to get their course to market. Now, that went so well that they decided to do a really large-scale authority-level launch starting on November 27th, with the cart close on December 14th. Now, can you guess how well they did by going all the way back, even though they had authority-level businesses, going back to the get started stage, and then testing one stage at a time, and then expanding the offer as they got feedback that this is what the market wants? Anyone? Someone wrote millions, 10 million, 60 million, 50 million. You all are close. This became the biggest internet marketing product launch in history. Over those 9 months, they brought in almost $58 million, okay? And it all started at the get started stage of business growth, right? Using the coaching and the professional services business model, private coaching and professional services. So why do you think Jason started this way, even though he had so much experience in this giant, this big audience already? Why do you think he started this way? Well, because it works. This is how you quickly test an offer and create a blockbuster hit product, one essential step at a time, one duck at a time.